With TOMi Digital, you can teach interactive classes remotely or in person, and you don't even need internet in the classroom. Innovating in classroom teaching with technology is something that new generations need in order to stay motivated in your classes. TOMi Digital allows you to create classes that promote a healthy form of competition amongst your students, and also allows for fun ways of conducting learning assessments. From now on, access to internet in classrooms will no longer be a barrier. This is how it works. Use the TOMi Digital Classes repository to find activities created by thousands of teachers around the world, or use the editor to prepare your own. You can add images, texts, and organize interactive activities in the form of competitions amongst your students. TOMi uses many types of questions, such as word searches, matching terms, true or false statements, multiple choice, and reordering or completing sentences. Synchronize your favorite classes from the TOMi Digital application on your cell phone and take them to class with you. Connect the TOMi Play device to power or a portable battery, and a new Wi-Fi network will appear. Ask everyone in the classroom to join the network and watch the magic begin. Join us in this learning experience and subscribe for 1 year to our platform, and we will send you a free TOMi Play device to any city in the world.
Good morning. So, welcome to a new TOMi Digital training. Welcome to all of our teachers, our students, and we will be working today, as we mentioned last training, on how to create classrooms in order to work offline, in order to download the classes and be able to work without the need of any access to internet, okay? So first of all, let me start by sharing my screen right now. Just give me 1 second. Okay, here you go. So there it is. So what we're gonna see right now, it's our TOMi Digital platform here. And well, for some of you that might not know a little bit, I'm going to mention general aspects of the original TOMi Digital web page. So at this side, at the left side of the screen, you'll have new lesson, which is to start a new lesson from scratch. Explore lessons, which is the repository of all the thousands of contents from different teachers all over the world. Of different subjects. Obviously, you can filter, you can look for them if you already know the name. My favorites, which are the ones that I save. Reports, we're going to talk about the reports later. My lessons, which are the lessons that I've been teaching during this month. And classrooms, which is the one that we're going to focus today. My collections are different folders that I can create in order to have my collections in one place. Okay, so we're gonna go to my lessons, and we're gonna change the dynamics here in order to see how to share with the classroom the content of a class, and then that the student can be able to access this content without the need of internet. Obviously, it has to be downloaded first, and something very important for this functionality is that all the students that would like to download the content to access these classrooms, they'll have to be registered. They'll have to have their credentials in order to access these classrooms. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is create a lesson. So we're gonna start here, creating a new lesson. And what we have to do in order to start creating the lesson would be naming it. So let's name it right here, the Americas. Put it 6 a.m. There you go. So this is our class name. Obviously, you can give the name you want, but it's mandatory to have a name of the class. Then we'll have to select subject. So in this case, it will be geography and accept. Perfect. So right here, the next step would be, this is the canvas. This is the original canvas where we work and create our classes from scratch. So we have two possibilities. The first possibility would be to import resources from the repository. If I'm interested in having some of the content or some of the resources used by another teacher in another class, I don't know, in India or in Africa or in the United States, this content can be downloaded and used in order to create my class. Here we have the other option, which is the one that we're going to use today, and is adding resources from scratch, creating these resources. What we have here at the right side of the screen is the progress, the progress bar. So it's Rocket, where it's very intuitive, it's very user-friendly, where we know which are the aspects of the class that are still missing, because if not, I'm gonna be able to finish the class. So set up the lesson name, set up the language. So we go here to lessons, lesson options. We edit the name if we need to edit it. We select the language, which is in this case, English. There you go. And we can select if the class, if we want the class to be private, so that nobody can access my resources or my classes, or we can leave it open so that other teachers can benefit from the classes I'm creating. So in this case, I'm gonna leave it open. Obviously, we already selected this. We select the image, class image, and just give me a second. We go here to TOMi and the Americas. The content that I'm uploading here, the content that I'm trying to add to the class, is content that we already have. So when we create all this content, obviously it has to be downloaded, and this is the idea in order to create the class. So as soon as I create the class, I'll be able to, just give me 1 second, out of the editor, to have this class. And let me see here. Okay, so this is the class that I already created with all the information added. And we already have all of this. So all this content, in order to know how to create the class from scratch, we will be performing that on Friday. But I just wanted you to give some of the information in order for you to know how it starts. Okay. So this is going to be our training on Friday, and this is how it's going to look. All the content, after doing all the progress and after organizing it, it's gonna have different resources that we're going to share with our students today. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I create the class with all the content, I schedule the lesson, and we'll have the possibility to have all the content that we created from scratch and that we have as a class, to share it with our classrooms. So as I told you at the beginning, the classroom has to be already created. So let's go back here in order to create the class. There you go. So we go to classrooms and we create a new class. So in this case, the class that we're going to create, it's the Americas. 2. Perfect. So automatically, TOMi Digital Platform gives us a code that it's tied, that is attached to this specific class, and this is the code that will be shared to have the students reach the content and download the content to perform the class. So the lessons here. So to this specific class, we're going to type one of our lessons. So I go to my lessons, and I'm going to type this specific class. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule it. So for that specific classroom, which is the America 6 a.m., we're gonna the America 6 a.m. 2. Let's see here. We add it, and we added here. That is the one that we just created. So for this specific class, we're gonna have this specific lesson, accept, and automatically I'll have the option to first let the students download this content. Obviously, when they are connected, they can download it, and then they can up until the schedule is done. So for example, if I open it until the 30th of July, after downloading the content, the student will be able to perform these classes without the need of internet. Okay, so I'll have to enable, first I have to select the classroom, then I'll have to enable the lesson download and the student authentication. So it's mandatory that all the students are registered and have their credentials in order to access these classrooms. So I'm gonna leave 2 attempts per student, competition mode. These are the student settings, the question settings. And so the most important thing is here that they are registered so that they can access this content. Perfect. So I'm gonna schedule it. And right here, I already have the code. I'll copy the link in order for the students to access it. And then when they have this information already opened, what I'm gonna do is go to my original, go reports, my lessons, and let's open classrooms. This specific classroom, so ready, let me go here, invite students. This is the code. So what they're going to do is they're going to go and access this URL, play.tomi.digital. We're going to copy that in the chat so that you're able to access it and use this specific code. So we copy and we go to TOMi Digital. And when we enter the code here, so we can join. Perfect. So I already have, this was the other training that we did. So I already have access to this specific one, which is the one that we already created. And this specific classroom with students that are registered are the only ones that can access and see this specific classroom with 2 possibilities. The first possibility would be to play the classroom now. So this is what the student will be able to do to perform the class on real time, or to perform the class downloading it. So what student would do is continue here, and the class is already downloaded. As you can see here, the download has been successfully done, and it's downloaded into the platform. So when they access, they will be able to see this without the need of internet. And that's one of the main key features of TOMi Digital. So all the offline classes, so if I go here to home, all the classes, practice classes, and offline classes available for that student and for that specific classroom would be this one. So there you go. The student can, there's no need for internet, and then they're gonna play it. Okay, so I customize the image, and let's say here, perfect. So this is how this specific classroom can be shared with other students. And after doing it, okay, so we're gonna perform it quickly. So I'm gonna go here to my browser. So I go to play.digital, .tomi digital, there you go, play.tomi.digital. And after I access the URL and after I use obviously the code, let me see the code right here. I'm gonna go back for a second. Offline classes. I can access that code and perform the class. So let's go back here, play the class. That's not my image. There you go, start. So here, the student will be able to see in their phones and obviously in the devices that they'll access the content, all the content here. The next would be the video, all the content that I created for the class, and all these class is being seen by the student without the need of internet access because it's already downloaded in the TOMi platform. Right here, select the country, which is this one. America is divided in 4 subregions. There you go. Next, match. So this one is with this one, and this one is with this one. Perfect. So this is the idea of having TOMi Digital without the need of internet access. The idea is for example, in India, in Africa, in most of the regions of South America, internet access is very complicated. So this is a feature that will help a lot of students in order to access this content without any Wi-Fi, without any internet cable. It's part of Canada, it's Canada, part of America, true, and finish. So when you finish the class, you will be able, as a teacher, to access the reports. So let's go right here, back to the original one. There you go. And I'll have to go to reports. Perfect. And this is the one that we just performed here. Okay, so since the access that I did to that specific classroom was without internet, let's refresh here. All the whenever the teacher connects again to the classroom, it's gonna update with all the reports information. So as soon as it's updated and all the information it's already in the reports section, we're gonna be able to have some of the reports by student and have some of the reports by question. So for student and for questions, we will be able to download all these reports using PDF or using Excel. And this is the general overview of the class. We downloaded, and this is how the TOMi Digital gives me the option to have a report, which is a report that we can share with teachers, with the parents, with the students, with our directors or principals. And this is a lot of time, the time-consuming aspect. If we don't have it automatically and we do it manually, these reports are going to take a lot of time. So TOMi Digital helps us a lot to save time here. So let's go back. We can have the analysis by student. Let's say, for example, Sergio had a really good results here. And we can see how much accuracy he had, identify, for example, in the other case of this student, Andy, he had difficulties with a couple of questions. So in this case, we can analyze as teachers what happened there. If maybe the problem was the time for the question, if maybe the problem was that the question was not as easy as it should, or not as complicated as it should. And obviously we can run reports based on that. So the other thing in reports is that we can do the reports based on the questions. And all these questions can be analyzed and also imported from Excel and PDF. Perfect. So let's go back. I'm gonna walk you through again just shortly in order to do all of this. And we're gonna do, just give me 1 second. Reports, classroom, okay, perfect. So just give me 1 second here. I'll just remove my sharing screen. And okay, so perfect. We're gonna be performing all of these trainings. So first, we're gonna do during the week, especially on Wednesdays, specific aspects of TOMi Digital Platform. And on Fridays, we're gonna be doing the trainings for how to create classes from scratch. So I gave you at the beginning of the training how I could start a class from scratch, but that's part of the Fridays training. And then, for example, in this training, we saw how to create the classes in order to share these classes with our classrooms, students that have to be registered already in the TOMi Digital Platform, and how to see these classes without the need of internet. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today, and see you on Friday. Take care.